The question is, when those lower candidates are allocated and then knocked off in the first rounds, will Bush and Midgley pick up enough of those second and third choice votes to catch up or get close enough to Bobby Charles? The first question will be, who's going to be in the final round with Bobby Charles? Presumably Midgley or Bush, but is that lead too much, 22,463 votes, for either one to catch? Bobby Charles is certainly very confident that he's got this all wrapped up, and he came out today and talked about ranked choice voting and how much he doesn't like it. And that's, as I said earlier, not unusual for the Republicans. Bobby Charles said he voted one for himself all across
the ballot.
Told his supporters to do the same. And the question is, how many Republican voters even participated in the ranked choice process? I mean, there are fewer votes to begin with. There were only 126,000 votes in the Republican primary. That's 90,000 fewer than the Democratic primary. So there was lower turnout, and we expect lower participation in the ranked choice process.
Was it surprising to you that Bobby Charles came out of these candidates to complain this afternoon about ranked choice and how long it takes when he has such a lead coming out of day one, and that we didn't hear instead from one of the other candidates that's further down?
Well, I think you could say it was maybe self-serving for Bobby to say that, because his argument is we should do things the old way. First round is the round. Plurality wins. He's got a plurality right now. So he would have been declared the winner last Tuesday, which is what he would have wanted, which is what he did want. And I think he's a little frustrated that perhaps the inevitable has been, taken 9 or 10 more days, but he also just doesn't like the idea of ranked choice. A lot of Republicans don't.
Let's look at the Democratic race. Nirav Shah was the leader as of Tuesday. If we have those numbers, we can bring those up. He had 26.8% of the vote. And behind him, Hannah Pingree, Troy Jackson, and Shenna Bellows were all kind of right there with each other, 23, 21, and 20. And they were the three who were campaigning with each other as well.
That's right. Right. So this is what you're talking about. There's Nirav Shah, the former head of the Maine CDC. He is 7,625 votes ahead of Hannah Pingree. That's a nice little lead, 3.5%, but he's by no means out of reach. Because, again, the larger volume of Democratic voters, 200,000 plus Democratic voters, there's a lot of second and third choice votes to go around. And so Hannah Pingree is confident that she can catch up to him. But before we get to that, the first thing that's going to happen is Angus King III, the senator's son, making his first run for office, has 17,000 votes. So when they push the button, those second choice votes will be allocated. And the first big question is who survives that first round, or I should say second round, Shenna Bellows or Troy Jackson. Troy is only 917,000 votes ahead of Shenna Bellows right now for third place. So you can do the math. She could easily catch up to Troy Jackson, right? And leapfrog him. And then whoever survives in third place is going to have a lot of second and third choice votes to be allocated. And, ideologically, Troy Jackson and Shenna Bellows are somewhat closely aligned, right? So the thinking, right, I said earlier, everyone has a path. So both campaigns think that they'll get a good chunk of the other's votes.
The remaining.
Right, and maybe that's enough for one of them to leapfrog Hannah Pingree and be in the final round against Nirav Shah. So that's the kind of thing we want to be looking for when they stand up in a few minutes and push the button and show us finally who the winner is. They'll help us explain it. They'll explain it to us a little bit after the fact. They're going to show us the winner first, and then we've been told they'll give us a little explanation of round by round how they got there.
How the numbers went, which will be very helpful.
Yeah.